Guys, the unbelievable happened. Can you believe how far the whining has gone? I'm going to talk about virtue signaling. Can you believe how extreme it's become? How much further will it go? My friends, now Zico is being attacked because he also shared his point of view. I can't stand this virtue signaling crowd anymore. People can say whatever they want about me. Man, don't attack Zico, don't attack our idol, just don't. The guy was honest. Miri Lacombe is like that. Her name is Miri Lacombe, right? That lady who works at Universo Online. She said Zico targets journalists. Instead of talking about the chaos she exposed, she created unnecessary chaos. Dear, she talked about situations that weren't true. And I saw a bunch of journalists not committed to the truth defending her. Because BAP talked about a physical issue there, that this could have been avoided, shouldn't have been said, and I didn't see any sexism in BAP's attitude. Then he speaks. After the friendly match, she speaks, right? Among the old and current idols of Maracanã. Zico was asked about Renata Mendonça's report regarding the deplorable conditions offered by Flamengo to women's soccer. Once again, it's you talking about the conditions at Flamengo and Centro de Futebol Zico, right? You want attention, you'll have it. And I have the right to have an opinion. I'm a man, and I can have an opinion. My wife is a woman, and she can have an opinion. My sister is a woman, and she can have an opinion. My male friends can have an opinion. There's nothing sexist about that. Having an opinion isn't sexism. Come on, stop with that, right? She says. Zico founded the training center used by Flamengo's women's soccer team for selection purposes. Renata Mendonça's video and October investigation are truly unmissable. What a trip. The entire Recreo dos Bandeirantes had dirty water. It lasted for a few hours on those days. That's crazy, man, isn't it? Defending, man, they're all defending themselves. The La Crossfera defends itself, right? The structure given to the professional women at Flamengo is worthy of criticism and demands explanations. Period. For God's sake, man, why don't you demand answers? Why don't you guys demand answers? Let the broadcasters start paying more for women's soccer. Try to advertise more, to see if it gets more audience, to see if there's a bigger investment in women's soccer. Instead of wanting to impose that Flamengo pays more, does more, and causes situations like this. Then talking about Centro de Futebol Zico, that Zico has the right to defend himself. He has the right to defend himself. Don't attack Zico. She said, curiously, neither the red and black president nor the club's greatest idol have given any decent argument to the video so far. They avoid the accusation, attack the journalist, and use confusion instead of explanation. Confusing what exactly? He explained everything. He said it all. The place is used, man, by more than 2,000 people. There. They made malicious videos and sent unbelievable things like that to the journalist. She should have tried to find out what was going on. That's what Zico said. That's what Zico said. Which Zico? But then for sure we'll see a lot of journalists defending, right? Defending and attacking Zico. I knew that would happen, right? She says Zico claimed Renata never visited Centro de Futebol Zico. I don't know if that's true, but it doesn't matter. Someone she trusts went there and made the video. Oh, okay, someone she trusts, right? Is that right? The conditions shown are deplorable and shameful. Yeah. The idol said Renata involved Centro de Futebol Zico in a story unrelated to Centro de Futebol Zico. What do you mean it's unrelated? I mean, man, I can't even read these comments anymore. Okay, Centro de Futebol Zico.
Because she was very happy, because when talking about Flamengo, she ended up harming Centro de Futebol Zico, which already messes with history, adding in some lies. It wasn't during Baco's administration that women's soccer started at Flamengo. It was during Andy's administration in September. They staged photos and recordings, and I don't know who did that. Since the club is an open club, I can make stronger decisions. If not, I will, yes. It's an image that came from water. It's black water. That was a playground for the pioneers the whole day. Yes, so people need to get informed before putting that out there and not just accept it. She never set foot in Centro de Futebol Zico to learn about its history that year, so she shouldn't. She could criticize what she thinks, but not that. The issue is with Flamengo, with women's soccer, but never with Centro de Futebol Zico. Centro de Futebol Zico doesn't have the structure. Centro de Futebol Zico C is top-notch. It was the referees' center during the World Cup. It's a Federación Internacional de Football Association event. It was the sports center during the Olympics. All the men's and women's teams that came to play here in Rio de Janeiro would go there. Now, we didn't build a soccer center to host clubs. We built it for a soccer school, so the structure is different. When Flamengo asked, we made a huge effort to be able to accommodate them in September, and everything that was done there was with the at Flamengo's request. So if someone goes there, talks, and knows what's going on, that's fine now. To put out a statement simply attacking a soccer school that has almost 2,000 people coming through every day, I don't think that's something you should do. So I called her and said, everything I'm telling you now, I told her. She said I agreed, but I didn't agree. So it's good because people should know what happened. If Flamengo lacks the structure for women's soccer, despite having money, that's their problem, not mine. I tried to offer what I had, what we had that was best. And the field, okay, smaller dimensions, but the field was wonderful. No one should complain about the field. We're doing something else. There's a base and teams that train there, but they didn't handle it like they did for women's soccer. So he created the Zico 10 soccer school. Yeah, nobody can erase that. And look, a lot of people are quiet. Everyone is quiet. No one talked to Centro de Futebol Zico. Her words, why did she do that to Centro de Futebol Zico? Why to the soccer school? Everyone is quiet. So the story is different, right? It's good to know, good to solve the problem then, but how is it solved? I said what I needed to. I have nothing against her. It's her problem.
Zico, it's such a professional center. I trained there at Centro de Futebol Zico. You know that they've hosted several friendship cups and brought Japanese teams to experience a professional center, as you mentioned.
And many professional players. There was a guy there in Japanese soccer who said there were 51 players playing in League 1, 2, and 3 who participated in the Friendship Cup. The guy from Kashima who scored Brazil's third goal against Japan at 15, he played there and scored. Pretty cool, right? I talked to him among the black community. He played there, he played there, he played this one. Cobra covered all of his appearances. She can talk better than the Friendship Cup.
She was very unhappy. We know that. Those were words that came out of her mouth that shouldn't have.
She should know the Friseiro sky better, because there are a lot of people who comment from the air-conditioned place sitting in their chairs. They don't visit the places themselves. They rely on second-hand information and don't understand daily life there.
I live in Recreo dos Bandeirantes, and yes, this happened throughout all of Recreo dos Bandeirantes.
A lot.
I think it's a shame when people film these things to put others down.
Yeah, and she says, Zico then says, pretending to be angry, that Renata damaged the image of Centro de Futebol Zico, and she put the word damaged in quotes. Like this, right? First, it's about time Zico understands that this word shouldn't be used. Dear, let's go again, la crossfera, la crossfera. I won't keep reading your text, la crossfera again. It's from Latin. The word is from Latin, meaning to obscure a situation. Denigrir. She claims Zico used that word. Racist, dear, denigrir. The word denigrir used with a racist tone to expose someone's color. Something like that, yeah, it's understood that it's a form of racism, the word denigrir. It exists in the Portuguese language. It comes from Latin, and it means to darken something, to make something. Yeah. I'm going to get it here. I decided to look up an article on Universal Online itself. According to the website Etymological Dictionary, the term comes from the Latin denigrare, which means to make dark. This is also one of the meanings of the word denegrir, and in the Michaelis Dictionary, denegrir means to become or to make something dark. However, for those who point out the racism in the term, the problem is not in the etymology or the literal meaning, but in the figurative sense. The second definition of denegrir in the Michaelis Dictionary is as follows: to tarnish one's reputation. Unlike other racist terms that used to be part of everyday vocabulary, like mulata or servicio de preto, the history of denegrir is not directly linked to slavery. For it to be considered racist, the word denegrir has to be directed at something that is used to create a negative situation for a black person. Not directly. The word exists, it comes from Latin. It's that simple. There's no point in trying to attack the idol Zico with this kind of ridiculous virtue signaling. There are two important situations to share with you. Take a look at the midfielder, right? Allan, we know you've been having some physical problems, right? Last season, you had some plantar fascia problems and missed a lot of games. And there's the possibility of Flamengo negotiating both Allan and some other players like Michael and so on. The news that Coluna just brought is that Allan may be on his way to São Paulo on loan. Is that the midfield? At 28, he isn't in Filipe Luiz's plans. The question is whether Filipe Luiz will renew or stay. The news from the column is not known. They bring this information here, and they also bring news about Everton Araujo, which I'm going to comment on now. Look, São Paulo showed interest in Allan, and they inquired about the possibility of a loan with an obligation to buy a percentage tied to performance goals. This information comes from Vene Casagrande, not his column. Right now, the club can't move forward because it's waiting for the coaching staff's decision. I just talked about Filipe Luiz, since a possible change could influence the plans for the midfielder, in case Filipe Luiz renews the contract as expected. Flamengo should seek new opportunities for Allan. Regarding Everton Araujo, Coluna reported that the player would like to transfer to get more playing time, to gain more experience and everything else. I spoke with a source connected to the board, who said that despite the news, the offer, even on paper, hasn't arrived. Nothing has come in for Everton Araujo, so there's nothing for us to talk about here at this moment because the offer for Everton Araujo hasn't arrived. It's just an inquiry so far, so there's no way to make any decision, any move, knowing that no official offer has come in for Everton Araujo, even though the column says that he would like to have more opportunities and to transfer and all that. The offer on paper hasn't arrived. The offer hasn't come in. I spoke with this source who said it hasn't arrived. So yes, it's a possible departure of midfielders. I believe Allan is the most likely to leave Everton. Araujo is highly valued at Flamengo and performed well late in the season. So today I woke up with information from Filipe Luiz that the deal is not easy. Really, time is running out. That's the information. Time is running out. And Flamengo's management is irritated with the positions taken by the agent that Filipe hired, Jorge Mendes, who doesn't accept lowering the asking price. Despite yesterday's GLOBO Esporte article saying that Filipe had given the okay to Flamengo's offer, and that only the issue of the commission amounts, Ivan Palancos, etc., was missing. The information I just received is that this amount requested by Jorge Mendes, which is something Filipe wants, is related to the assistants on the coaching staff. It's extremely high. It's close to 1 million euros per year. It's a very high amount. And then Flamengo President Bape, according to a source close to the board, tells us he feels he's stretched the rope as far as possible and isn't sure how much longer he can wait to resolve this. Flamengo shouldn't be controlled by a negotiation. BAPE has already set a value close to 2 million reais per month and doesn't want to give in any further. The latest information is that they won't give in. Besides that, They believe this amount can cover Filipe's commission, but Jorge Mendes thinks there's a need for an extra amount. Okay? Globo Esporte reported this yesterday, and Guilherme Flazuero also mentioned that this was a topic causing disagreement. But the information we have now is that Flamengo got close to 4 million euros per year, and that they want a higher amount, which is causing a big disagreement. This extra amount of almost 1 million euros brings it up to those 5 million euros that Vene Casagrande mentioned. So guys, the information is real. Time is running out. Tempers are running high because Flamengo doesn't want to repeat Botafogo's mistake from 2024 to 2025, since 2025 has already gone to the Supercopa without a coach. Flamengo wants planning. Flamengo knows they need to plan, the board knows this, and that's delaying everything, even signings, so they need to sort this out soon. And there are some names being discussed. Arthur Jorge is the main one.